Hello fellas, Frankie Day here. Okay guys, for the Sunday evening, I got video 2 from a winter build of Italeri 1/72nd scale short Sunderland flying boat. Okay guys, like I mentioned in the beginning of the construction of the kit, it's going to be a fast build no matter how much you take your time. So far I got about 3 days in this thing, so for about 4 days into construction, and no, I actually got 5 days. I'm going to build these in 5 days, so right now I've got it at the stage of construction, virtually about ready for the finishing colors, with the exception of the construction of the engine cowlings, and painting the engines and have them masked up, and then a few other small sundry parts like antennae and balancing horns for the elevators that need to be installed. Also the top of the dorsal turret the fairing of the dorsal turret needs to be installed. So I got a lot of small parts to be installed before it's painted in its entirety. Okay guys, on the remainder of the video, when I finish reviewing the construction of the kit, I went to the hobby shop and got me 2 more kits. They're probably going to be very, very close builds coming up in the very close future. I might even start one of them as of now. But right now I want to get this Sunderland going pretty good before I get started on it, and we'll discuss that after the video here, during the finishing up of the video, that is. Okay guys, old Porcupine, I got her, she's about ready for her finishing colors. I got it all primed, and like I say, there's no filler on there except a little bit on top of the fuselage, which I used, and it seemed like to me the seams kind of vanished in the haze, no longer there, and so it's ready for those parts. The turrets will go on last. They got to be treated differently because, like I say, we build these things like any kit. There's different forms of ways of tackling the kit. So before I get her painted up, I got to get the cowlings painted up inside, airbrushed terrier green. The cowlings themselves has been assembled, sanded, and polished and primed and ready for installation on the cowlings. The engine itself needs to be painted. They've been primed and ready along with the aircraft itself. They got to be painted and picked out for detail, and slide the cowling on and mask off the cowling facings and go ahead and start the paint schedule on it. The beaching gear comes off, haven't got it on there. I had to have something like a crane or something to mount the airplane while I'm working on it, and it seems like me serving its purpose. Excuse me guys, one of these days I'll make me a jig to hold these things in, and until that time comes, who knows, but it should be a good idea. I'll make a little mounting jig for these things. Okay guys, we're going to take the camera around. We're going to take a look at the mighty Porcupine. And this is the first time I ever built the 1/72nd scale Italeri short Sunderland before. The ones I'm more or less used to, like we all are, is the Airfix kit. And I still think the Airfix kit is still the cat's meow. It can hold a candle against the Italeri kit. The only difference with the Italeri kit and the Airfix kit is generally just the interior and the detail that's put into the kit itself, and virtually it looks almost the same and builds the same. Okay guys, we're going to take the camera swing out and take a look at it and show you old Frankie Day none of this old little girl. There she is sitting on top of the milling mat right here. We'll zoom in a little bit here. I haven't got my Lady Susan so I can twirl it around so you can see where it's at, but I've got all the I got it all primed, as you can see. The engines are all primed along with the aircraft itself, and they need to be painted. And of course, there's the cowling rings right there in front, and there's the main cowlings right there behind them, and they got to be spinning on the engine firewalls. And masking material such as tissue needs to be inside the cowling to keep the engines and also the inside of the cowling getting oversprayed with finishing color. And I tested the canopy on there. It's a nice, tight, good fit, no seams, so that's going to be done differently. And what I'll do is go ahead and mask that off before I attach it to the fuselage, and go ahead and give it another one more prime coat once everything's on, and go ahead and start with the color schedule, which is going to be sky undersides with extra dark sea gray or dark slate gray. So there she is, folks, the mighty Sunderland. She's a beautiful airplane. The Schott brothers built this thing, probably back in the mid-1930s. They were used very exclusively by the Coastal Command. And they were dubbed Porcupine by the Jerrys is because she was pretty heavily armed. And they seem to think there ain't no way they got out of harm's way with the Schott Sunderland. And some Schott Sunderland flying boats were dashing and daring and used as fighters, believe it or not. Sometimes Schott Sunderlands welcome a nice Focke-Wulf Condor or Junkers 88. And like to get to a little fisticuff with them. And generally the old Porcupine wins. Almost like the rattlesnake and the mongoose. Anyway, guys, anybody's got this kit in their stash, there's no fit problems at all. Now, when it comes to fitting the wings, guys, instead of gluing the top section and the bottom section together as one unit and slide it inside the wing root of the fuselage, it's best to make sure you have a good tight flush fit on top of the wings. Take the bottom wing half and cryolite glue it, super glue it to the wing root of the fuselage so it's nice and flush and tight. Then when it dries, do the same on the top half. Then you go ahead and assemble the wing to the bottom half. Then you got a good tight fit and no putty on there. So that's a secret right there on this, to avoid using a filler on top of the wing roots. And actually, there is no darn imperfections at all on it. It looks pretty good. Like I say, this kit, it builds pretty well. The filler in it is very minimal. You don't need any more because it's not going to get any more. I don't want no more on there. It's done its job. All I need is just a little dab of here, a little dab there, and she's it. Mostly on top of the fuselage only. The rest of the parts don't need filler. Just use a good sanding board and sand it quite well, and use wet dry sandpaper and polish it with water. And go ahead and scribe in your panel lines that have been done away with during the sanding process, and give it a prime job, and you're ready to go. Okay, guys, this is video 2, the conclusion. So video number 3, excuse me. Well, instead of going to the final reveal, I'll go ahead and have the video. This thing will be in the finished color schedule on it before it's over with. Last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put the rest of the parts on it and add a little washer in there. And she's about done. And I'm going to put some pre-shading on this thing. This thing has some nice panel lines on here. And they calling for washes really bad. So the wash of these wings and everything and the fuselage and the whole aircraft will really stand out real nice. So I'm kind of overzealous about that. The only functions on this model has is the control surfaces. They work quite well. And also you got the sliding Bombay cart which fits on top of the wing rails that goes into the side of the fuselage. And so actually this thing is almost like the Airfix kit the way it's designed. Except it's got more technology in the designing of the kit itself. And it's a beautiful looking flying boat, and I love flying boats. They got a very beautiful certain glamour to them. And they are a very, very important, significant aircraft used in World War II. And the Sunderlands were used almost like that as a Mariner. And a PB-2I Core, an auto flying boat, and also the PBYs. These are used as patrol bombers. Mostly these coastal command boats were more or less used as convoy escorts and hunting for submarines. Kind of like a sheepdog of the air. And they more or less, it can see a pig boat out there in the water, it can go to it and sink it before it glances its fish into the hulls of the oncoming welcoming convoy from the U.S. And short submarine was used as medevacs, transports, and after the war, some were used as commercial aircraft until they got to the hands of private collectors. They more or less used them as shuttling aircraft, commercial aircraft for islands, kind of like we use on the Golden Goose and the Mallard. Catalina Island, all the Catalina Island, and Long Beach, and San Diego, and all the coastal routes that take you to Catalina Island. So these things are more or less used in a similar manner. And it's silver, a civilian version. There's no one almost like the short submarine, which is its near identical brother, which is a short solent. And they're beautiful flying boats. The short Sunderland model actually came from the Class C boats, the Empires, like the Cornelius and the rest of the famous Empire flying boats that were used before World War II was underway. So these got a very significant part in history, and of all the flying boats there is, guys, I love the old short Sunderland. It's something about it. It's a very beautiful and true extreme flying boat, to say the least. Okay, guys, we're going to swing the camera around to yours truly, and I'll show you what old Frankie Day got the shop the other day, which I'm going to be built here on YouTube, just for you great fellas. Okay, guys, this aircraft is a little stranger. This is actually a reboxing of the Revell C-54D Skymaster. And what they did, they used the same kit, made a civilian version, which is the DC-4. Using the Berlin Airlines. This thing gives you two liveries. It gives you Iceland Airlines, and also gives you the Bel Air Airlines. And so you got two decal sheets, two different deliveries on the kit. So this is almost like the C-54 that I down here about a year ago. Same kit, same airplane, guys. Only thing that's different in this thing is the instructions. The plastic is molded in white instead of silver like the other one was. I mean gray, like the other one was. And the decal sheet. That's the only difference there is. It's the same kit. And believe me, they charge at least almost $20 more for this kit, just for that option of being a civilian job, having two sets of decals for two different deliveries. And so that's one thing us model builders got to be very careful of and be leery of. I knew what I was getting into before I bought this kit, because I knew this was going to be just like the C-54 Berlin Airless Skymaster, like the one I built about a year ago. So this is going to be the same kit, just different decals and the treatment of the instructions, fellas. That's the only difference. I'll make an inbox review of this when I get to this. When I'm going to build this, I don't know. It's going to probably be pretty close to the near future. It could be any time. Somebody may want to scare up an airliner build. That'd be an excellent candidate for an airliner build. Okay, we'll put the DC-4 over here. Now we've got another one over here I got. Yeah, it's okay right there. I'll heat it over. Okay, guys, this is a nice one right here. I got this also at Smitty's Hobby Shop. Scale 1/150. This is a gauge fork, which can be used out of 3 ships. You can make 3 ships out of this. Leave it to me, you guys, because all 3 ships came from the same design as this ship is. This ship was probably built back in the late 1920s, and this thing could be the model of the Sea Adler, the German Raider of World War I, or it could be the United States Coast Guard Cutter Eagle. Because, matter of fact, I did some research on this ship opposed to the Eagle and the Sea Adler. The hull is the same. It was built by the same company that built the ship, and out of Germany, and same everything. The deck layout's the same, the superstructure is the same, the mass is all the same, everything is the same. So like I say, if you guys have any references to the Sea Adler, This thing will be, you make it to Seattle, and all you use is a really dark green water line and a green boot topping center section of the hull. The hull is white. And for the USS Coast Guard USS CG Eagle, it could be all white with a red oxide water line and a black boot topping. And also you can have on the hull, you can have the hash mark used by the Coast Guard. And also the Lord's Fork here, which this kit is boxed, is going to be like you see here in the box, all white hull, green. This is a nice model, guys. This is big. I took it out of the box. The thing is probably bowsprit to the tip of the spanker. It's about 30 inches long. It's a good sized model. And I've seen this kit before. I think it's an MIA kit. AMAI, however we pronounce it. It's a Japanese firm. And I think either that or it could be a Keller kit. I'm not too sure. But the thing I don't like about it is the shrouds. The shrouds are all plastic. So my suggestion is this: if you really want to make this thing authentic, just remove the shrouds from the dead eyes and run cordage. You line the shrouds and go ahead and make your ladderways on your shrouds by using tube glue, or you can knot and tie them, or use ACC. Or bottle airplane dope works good too. Okay, guys, those are the two I got right there. And both kits are almost $70 a piece. And with my infamous discount, plus being a veteran and a good customer, they knocked off $20 in each kit. So I paid $80 for two of them. So I'm pretty happy. And so I think the next kit will be coming up. I'll probably be cracking down on on that gorge fork right there. And looks like that'd be a pretty fast build because it doesn't have very many parts, and it don't look that complicated to build. But I still like to take my time on it. So I don't know what I'll be tacking that. I'd be surprised. I can work on it tonight, tomorrow, next week, next day, or never. But it's in the stash pile to my delight in case I don't want to take it out of there. But I've been thinking very seriously about working on that. I kick back and relax and work on a model ship. I got to get over there and work on my USS board, my 4-piper destroyer. And I put a pretty good dent in that, so it won't take long to finish that up. So all these kits, I got pretty good dents in them, and they don't take that much to finish them up. I get to them. They're not going nowhere, either am I. So hopefully in the near future I'll have them done, which I will. And just like the rest of them I got going here, Frank, I'm finishing up, fellas. And so the next video is going to be, it's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be on the short Sunderland, to be at the paint. The paint job will be completely done. And the final reveal will follow after that one. And whatever comes up in between, I'll probably make a video of that too. So stay tuned for that, for another video be coming up. It might be on the Scourge Fork, or it could be on something else over there. And that'll be that. Okay, guys, this is Frankie Day signing off, and I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and may God bless, make Mama happy. Wow. Well, that's good root beer. Only thing I need now is jelly beans. Anyway, I'm signing off, getting out of here, guys. So stay tuned. This Wednesday I'll have another video, video number 3, on the Italeri 1/72 scale short Southern flying boat. Sometime in between that, and maybe after, I'll have another video for another build I'll be doing. And I'll be getting started on Mr. Martin Lamette's Messerschmitt 410 Buddy Group build. And his rules of building that kit can be any scale out of the box. And it's a 4-month job, and that's more generous for Mr. Lamette, as given us all fellas a good 4-month tour of duty if you haven't done. And that allows you time to work on your things and something else too, and still work on Mr. Lamette's Martin Lamit's 410 group bill, Medicine 410 group bill. So I